Good evening. Good evening. It is Monday and it is the beginning of June already. You guys, it's already June. At March, April, May are just a blur. They were just a blur. But we are in June, and this is our Pearls of Wisdom for this week. I am Cherie L'Amour, and I am here to help you. Hi Keisha, hi Kenya. I'm here to help you create the life you love. Now, usually I come on here and I try to be very encouraging and upbeat, and I hope at some point I can encourage you today. But as hopefully you saw in the title, today's Pearls of Wisdom is I'm not okay. I am okay. I'm not gonna cry at the beginning of this thing, but I'm not okay, and you shouldn't be either. There's so much going on around us. It's not enough that we had to, dealing with, hi Kim, the coronavirus stuff and looking at people who look like me who are dying at higher rates than other folks. Okay, fine, we're still dealing with that. But then everything else is going on with George Floyd and now these protests and all the stuff that's going on. And for some reason today when I woke up, I wasn't okay. I really wasn't. It's interesting, and you all please like, comment, and share too. But it's interesting that last week someone asked me had I watched the video. And to this day I can tell you I still haven't seen it. And let me tell you why. I can't. I cannot watch, as much as I love action movies and I like kick them and knock them out and do all this other stuff. Love all that stuff. I'm tired of watching videos of people who look like my son dying at the hands of police. So I didn't watch it. I saw enough pictures on Facebook. I've read enough. I get what happened, but to actually see it and then to know that the man called out for his mama. And I know every one of my friends who have black sons that tore something in us. And for years, I've been trying to coach my son on how to interact with the police, what to say, to bite your tongue, because there's times when they will say something to you and they're wrong, but you can't react to it. I remember it wasn't that many years ago, my son had an encounter with the police, and my son made a sudden move, and next thing he knew, his face was on the ground because the police officer didn't know what he was grabbing for. My son was just grabbing for his wallet, but next thing he knew, his face was on the ground because the police officer was frightened. And so, now mind you, I don't fault all police officers. The jobs that they do is very dangerous. It's very dangerous, and there are some people out there who have no respect for the law. But there's also officers of the law who had no respect for the law and no respect for life. It is shocking to me that anybody could think that that was okay. Or it's shocking to me that people want to know, well, what did he do? He didn't do anything that deserved that. That much I can tell you. And then you hear something about some checks. Are you kidding me? Are you flipping kidding me? And I'm sorry. What were the other three cops around him doing? Why are you allowing this to happen? And then I've read, and I'm sorry, you all, I told you I'm not okay. So you're not going to get the normal Cherie today. But then I see comments from people who said, well, if he can't breathe, why could he say he can't breathe? Are you serious right now? The man was trying to let you know that he was losing breath. But you're going to make the comment about the fact that he said he couldn't breathe. Why is that okay? Why isn't everyone not furious about the fact that this continues to happen to African American people. I'm not even going to say men because it's happening to women as well. Why are we sitting back and, oh, that's just another one. This nation, unfortunately, has a history of showing us they don't care about us. And so it just all came down on me today when I woke up, and I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm tired of black and brown folks not mattering to other people who you think more highly of a dog. If that was somebody who did that to a dog, all kinds of people will be raising all kind of hell over it. But you think less of a black man? You want to know what he did. You don't ask what the dog did if somebody did that to a dog. But you want to ask that about a black man. I don't know. I just can't. And then you've got people who, so then you see people come out on the streets and they want to protest because they feel like, okay, you don't hear us one-on-one, so let's come together as a group. And what I can tell you that I've loved about seeing some of these protests is you see a very diverse crowd out there. You see all kinds of people walking together saying Black Lives Matter. And for those who say, well, all lives matter, you know what, you're right. All lives do matter, but all doesn't count if you don't put the black folks in it. If you act like our lives don't matter, then all lives don't matter. So our lives have to matter as well. Now, I know some of the things I say today, y'all, if I lose a few friends, it's okay. I know that everything I'm going to say is not the right thing, but it's how I'm feeling today. And so I appreciate those who've gone out and who are on the front lines. And I, just got a message from a friend who said her brother is out somewhere and he's speaking at a rally. And I think that is so awesome. I have another friend whose brother went out. Another friend, he took his 2 daughters out. And I love to see all that. But then in cities across America, and including my hometown of Chicago and the surrounding suburbs, then we have people looting and destroying property. And we have people who are like, well, they shouldn't be doing that. I'm not saying they should. Let me first say that. I'm not saying that people should be looting and doing all that. What I'm going to say to you is, have you taken the time to try to figure out why are they so angry that they feel they have to destroy stuff? And then I'm going to tell you that that's something to me that was innate in us. Just think about it. When you were a child, before you could learn to speak, if something was bothering you, you needed something, whatever, you cried out. You cried out to get some attention. They talk about kids in the terrible twos, if you didn't get the attention you want, then you start acting out. Now, some may say, well, we're not kids. We're not babies. We know how to speak. We should use our voices. Really? Really? Because we still do that today. Look at all the things you do in a relationship. If you don't get what you want, we still act up. We still do something to get somebody's attention because our voice isn't being heard. If you feel like your voice is not being heard, you will have a tendency to act up and to do something you don't normally do, to say, hey, pay attention to me. It happens in marriages. It happens in friendships. It happens with your kids and with your parents. Everybody does it. And I'm not saying I agree with it. I certainly don't agree with it. And I'm also going to say this and be clear about this. Please don't think it's only black folks out there who are looting and destroying property. I have seen plenty of pictures of Caucasian people, Hispanic people, all kinds of people running in the stores and taking stuff that's not theirs. Now, I will never condone that. It doesn't belong to you, so you don't take it. But I understand the anger, if that makes any sense. I do understand the anger. Today when I woke up, and I should have stayed off social media because I knew I wasn't in a good spirit today. But I turned on Facebook and I was flipping through it, and I heard that a place that I worked at for several years that was beloved to my heart was destroyed by people in its own community. And I don't typically talk about where I work, but I'm going to mention it. This was a Nike store, and it's right on 87th and Cottage Grove in Chatham. And I saw a picture of the store is just destroyed. People were in there. They were taking shoes. There's boxes and trash everywhere. They just went for it. They went for it. And it felt real personal to me. And the young lady who had posted it was someone who works at the store currently, but worked for me then. And she had someone on there telling her, well, it's Nike. They got lots of money. They don't care about you. You drinking a Kool-Aid. What are you? You just must be some associate. They not doing anything for you. And I promise you, if I could have reached out and touched, no, I'm just joking. If I could have had a conversation with that young man, I would have, because it was just so. I don't talk about where I work because too many other things come with it. But what I will say is that I am very grateful for the company that I work for and the things that they stand for. And they are willing to stand for things when others won't. And when they put that store in on the south side of Chicago, they weren't putting it there saying, let me just get some money from these poor black people in Chicago. That's not it. Yes, they're a business. They wanted to make money. I'm not foolish. But they're very intentional about what can we do as a company to make a difference on the south side of Chicago. And so that store, I used to go to high schools and talk to the students there about how to interview and help them get a job. I was able to help people in that store who thought they were coming in for a part-time job end up with a career with Nike that they wouldn't have ever had. I was able to help those single moms with no transportation to be able to help them find some shoes and some decent product for their kids so they can go to school. So there's a lot of things, good things that came out of that store, and it just broke my heart to see that people in the community want to destroy it. And so that's my urge to the people in the community. Stop destroying your own community. And I understand, and I love that the black businesses are putting on there, hey, we're a black-owned business, don't destroy us. Don't destroy anything in your community, especially a black business, but any, because some of those are providing jobs. Some of those are providing food and medicine for your grandmother who can't get around, so she has to shop in her community. They destroyed the Walmart on 83rd Street, and I know there's people out in that area who don't have cars, and they rely on that store for their medicine, for their food, so forth. And now where are they going to go? Where are they going? So anyway, what can we do? What can we do? I think the first thing we all need to do is speak up when we see stuff. One of my sisters told us today that she saw a Facebook post where a lady used the N-word. A Caucasian lady used the N-word. And she reported it. And that lady's job posted that they weren't standing for it. And the shameful part is this lady worked in a hospital. So what hospital you work at only has Caucasian people in it? So obviously you work around different people, yet you feel comfortable using that on social media, using that term on social media. So we need to stand up. And I'm not just talking to black people. I know a lot of wonderful, beautiful Caucasian folks. I do. And I know folks who are not racist. But right now it feels like not racist is not enough. You got to fight racism. That means you got to stand up when somebody says something that you know is the wrong thing to say. That means that you've got to, speak up and say, hey, that's not cool. Don't say that. Not being racist isn't enough right now. It isn't. And then I think the other thing is we got to be able to have some honest conversations with the intent to seek to understand or to learn from one another. And I know a lot of my friends on here who are watched the Stephen Furtick and John Gray talk they had yesterday, instead of their regular churches, they had a good conversation. And it was good to see people who, one black, one white, who love one another and treat each other like family, have a decent conversation, an in-depth conversation on what can we do. What can we do? And it starts by trying to understand the other person's point of view. But people, this racism, it's a heart issue. And we've got to work on people's hearts. And there's some systemic stuff going on. But if we don't start looking inward and have a little empathy and try to understand somebody else's point of view, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in trouble. But I know a lot of you aren't okay. You're not. But here's my encouragement. We can't stay not okay. Meaning, we can't fix anything if we're in a state of despair and sadness. We got to turn it into some type of action. And whatever that action is, if that's posting something on Facebook, doing a Facebook Live, having in-depth conversations with your friends of different backgrounds and cultures or what have you, do it. Let's just do it. But I encourage you all to stand up to it. Don't sit back and accept it. Don't stay not okay. And I'm not saying, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying to say, okay, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to forget whatever happened to George Floyd or all these other people. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying the state I was in today, constant tears and sadness and so forth, I don't want to stay in that place, because I need to move into a place of action and doing something to try to help others. So I'm not seeing any comments today. I don't know if you all are just listening or I don't know. But anyway, I hope this has helped. Again, I said I'm not okay, but I promise I'll be okay next week. I will, because I'm going to be okay tomorrow. But understand, I'm going to take action. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. I love you all. This is Pearls of Wisdom for this week. Please like, comment, and share my videos. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you next week. Okay, love you guys. Bye-bye.